Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we are already in the Black Forest, famous for its huge perennial woods and picturesque villages, which is often associated with the fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm. Of all theories about the name of the Black Forest, the most accepted is that it was the Romans who gave it the name, by calling it Populos Nigra, inspired in the darkness of the roads by the thick forests that populate it. We started our visit by going north towards Baden-Baden, which, although we did not visit this time, remains on the agenda for the next visit. And there we take the B500 road that runs 60 kilometers from Baden-Baden to the Kinzig Valley, passing through the heart of the Black Forest. From Baden-Baden, we make a first stop at a viewpoint, in which we could not enjoy much of the views, because it had risen quite cloudy. We follow our tour by the road B500 from north to south, and in which gradually we will go gaining meters of height.
Madre mía, qué bonito.
We deviate to the left to take a road that leads to Lake Sandsee, in which we will not have difficulty parking, since on the same road we have a lot of places to park. Lake Sandsee is a lake of artificial origin, whose waters were repressed in the 18th century. Between 1933 and 1970 it was used as a bathing place, and from this part on several hiking routes. Although opinions of all tastes about this lake, it is worth strolling along its shores, as it is a remnant of peace and tranquility, and allows you to relax in some of the banks or picnic tables that it has. From Lake Sandsee we again take the road B500 to the south, which, as we see in some points, in the month of May still has snow, so outside of summer it is always convenient to carry some clothes. Enjoy the walk through the forest landscape, or we arrive in a short time after a curve to the left Lake Mummenlsee, a lake of glacial origin, and that is located at the foot of the highest mountain in the Black Jungle. As for parking, we have parking places on both sides of the road, so there will be no parking problems to start enjoying the visit to this lake. This lake is one of the most visited in the Black Forest, and in it we find a hotel with a large terrace and a lot of souvenir shops. Once we access the lake, you can take a circular walk along its shore. We also find different wooden sculptures with some posters in German, French and English, which tell you several legends about the lake. In relation to these legends, we find on one of the banks a siren sitting on a rock. According to legend, beneath the waters of Lake Mummenlsee, there was a glass palace where a large number of sirens lived. These sirens were allowed to go out to the surface, but always on the condition that they would return to the waters of the lake at sunset. But one of the sirens fell in love with a young human, and one of those days he was more entertained and became late. The lovers ran toward the shore of the lake, and as soon as the siren entered the water, a cloud of blood rose to the surface. The siren was dead. Sad story of this siren that does not prevent us from enjoying the beautiful walk around the lake. We leave Lake Mummenlsee and head back on the road 500 to Allerheiligen, which is not on the same road, so you will have to pay attention to the signage. In this place you will enjoy both the ruins of an abandoned monastery, as well as a series of waterfalls along the Lierbach River. As for parking, you will have no problem, since there are several parking spaces with free and perfectly signaled places. These parking spaces, which are located around the beginning of the walk around the monastery, allow us to access it in a short time on foot. The history of the monastery dates back to 1192, and although in the beginning it was a very simple construction, thanks to the donations of the locals and the church, the wood left way to the stone. Two fires in 1470 and 1555 ravaged the temple, being rebuilt again, and for centuries the monks who inhabited the monastery devoted themselves to worship, agriculture, and exercised as teachers of the children of the nearby populations. It was gaining fame and became a very important pilgrimage place in southern Germany. But unfortunately, in the year 1804, lightning destroyed the church of the monastery. It has not been restored, and today we can see exactly how it remained. However, in the year 1840, the remaining monastery dependencies that today are focused on tourism were restored. From the monastery through a pleasant walk we approach the waterfalls. These waterfalls are a succession of 7 water springs, divided into almost 90 meters of fall. In 1840 works were carried out that achieved a way quite more accessible, with bridges and very many stairs, although the visit physically does not entail any difficulties, and allows us along 2 kilometers, to enjoy the succession of waterfalls, and if it is summer, we can even bathe in the river. We were in the month of May, and the truth is that we did not want a lot of bathing, but I am sure that in the middle of summer these waters have to be very refreshing. After visiting the monastery and the waterfalls, we left Allerheiligen with the good taste of mouth, which we will enjoy a lot in our visit to the Black Forest.